Would you ever think that something as simple as taking a shower in the morning, something millions of people do every day, could be the cause of an elderly person's death in their own home? The truth is, hundreds of falls, strokes, and deaths in people over 70 happen in the bathroom at a time of day that most people would least expect to be dangerous. And what's even more terrifying is that almost none of them are warned. Stanley Peterson's story is one that we can't ignore. Stanley is a 75-year-old father and grandfather who lives alone in his suburban Boston home. He is healthy, active, follows all medical advice, eats well, and exercises regularly. But one morning, his daughter walked into the bathroom and found him lying unconscious on the floor. The water still running. Doctors determined that he had suffered a stroke while in the shower just minutes after waking up. No one expected that choosing to shower early in the morning, something Stanley had been doing for decades, would be the factor that cost him his life. If you are thinking that probably rarely happens, think again, because the latest research shows that showering early in the morning, especially between 4 and 8 a.m., increases the risk of stroke, fainting, and falling by up to 80% for the elderly. That is no longer speculation. That is the number published by leading medical experts from Harvard. And what is more worrying, most of the elderly and their children have no idea that they are living with a habit that can kill them at any time. So ask yourself, are you unknowingly putting your loved ones or yourself at risk of death every morning without knowing it? The following section will explain in detail why a seemingly harmless time frame is a death time for people over 70, and what you need to do today to avoid becoming the next victim. Taking a shower in the early morning can bring a feeling of alertness and cleanliness to start a new day. But for people over 70, it is the time when the body is struggling to maintain physiological balance. And it is this silent struggle that is killing more seniors than you think. Researchers at Harvard Medical School have pointed out that from 4 Harvard to 8 Harvard a.m. is the most dangerous time of day for the elderly, especially when performing activities such as bathing, where there are sudden changes in temperature, the risk of slipping and falling, and the body is required to stand continuously. The reason lies in the phenomenon called morning surge, a biological phenomenon in which a person's blood pressure naturally increases immediately after waking up. In young people, the body can regulate this phenomenon quite well. But in the elderly, the cardiovascular system is no longer flexible enough to handle such sudden changes. The result, when they wake up, their blood pressure is low, their bodies are still tired, they step into the shower, where the hot water causes the blood vessels to dilate, blood pressure changes, and even a slight loss of balance can cause dizziness, fainting, falls, or stroke. The story of Doris Williams, a 72-year-old retired teacher, is a typical example. She always wakes up early at 5:30 and likes to start her day with a warm towel and hot water. Until one day she felt dizzy while standing in the shower, lost her balance and hit her head hard on the edge of the tub. She broke her hip and was hospitalized for weeks, losing the ability to move independently. After doctors examined her, the cause was determined not to be slippery but a combination of impaired blood pressure regulation and bathing too early. This does not mean you should not shower in the morning, but after the age of 70, you need to know that your body can no longer withstand strong biological changes when you wake up. The solution is very simple. Change the time to shower between 10 Harvard a.m. and 12 Harvard p.m. When blood pressure is stable, body temperature increases, and nerve reflexes are also better. Right now, you can stick a small piece of paper on the bathroom mirror. Do not shower before 10 a.m. Just a small reminder, but it can prevent a big tragedy. Have you ever thought that choosing a shower time can save a person's life? The next part will point out a seemingly pleasant factor in the bathroom that is causing the hearts of the elderly to collapse. No one can deny the pleasant feeling of taking a hot bath, especially in the morning. But that pleasant feeling, in the elderly, is silently pushing the cardiovascular system into a state of red alert. After the age of 70, the body's ability to regulate temperature is no longer the same as before. And when you are standing under hot water, your body may be suffering from heat shock without you even realizing it. According to research from the American Journal of Geriatric Medicine, after the age of 70, the human body loses much of its ability to quickly adapt to changes in environmental temperature. When hot water is poured on the skin, blood vessels dilate rapidly to cool down. But the aging heart is not agile enough to coordinate blood flow to keep up. The result, blood pressure drops, blood flow to the brain decreases, and the heart is overloaded. The case of Albert Reynolds, a retired accountant at the age of 83, is a warning to millions of people. He still takes hot showers every morning, as he has for more than 40 years. But one morning, he suddenly collapsed in the shower. Doctors diagnosed him with heat stroke-induced arrhythmia, a reaction that could have been prevented if he had just turned down the water temperature a few degrees. When the doctor explained that it was the combination of the timing of the shower and the temperature of the water that had delivered the double whammy to his cardiovascular system, his family was shocked. You don't have to give up hot showers, but you do have to make adjustments. Limit the water temperature to 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 to 38 degrees C. In particular, you should install an anti-scald valve for just $25 to prevent the water from getting too hot. Remember, hot water may soothe the mind, but in an aging body, it can be a catalyst for the next stroke. In the next section, you'll discover why a pill you take every morning, combined with a shower, can turn your bathroom into a death trap. Many seniors start their mornings with a glass of water, a blood pressure pill, and then a quick shower to wake up. It sounds like a sensible routine, but if you do exactly that, you're creating a twin storm where medication and showering combine to create a dangerous combination. Most high blood pressure medications start to take effect about 1 to 2 hours after taking them. Also, as discussed earlier, showering, especially hot and early in the morning, causes blood vessels to dilate, causing blood pressure to drop suddenly. When these two factors overlap, the elderly body is no longer able to regulate blood flow to the brain. The result: dizziness, fainting, falling in the shower, the most dangerous place to lose consciousness. The case of 76-year-old Patricia Sullivan is a vivid example. Every morning, she took her lisinopril pill at 6:30, then showered right after. For months, she felt a little lightheaded, but paid no attention. Until one morning, she collapsed while getting out of the tub. After being rushed to the emergency room, doctors confirmed that the combination of her blood pressure medication peaking and showering early when her blood pressure was not stable had caused her to have a few minutes of ischemic stroke. The advice from experts at the Mayo Clinic is clear. Don't shower within 2 hours of taking your blood pressure medication. It's best to ask your doctor about adjusting the timing of your medication to fit your circadian rhythm and daily routine. Today, create a clear schedule for taking your medication and showering, at least 2 hours apart. Post it in a visible place in your home. A simple change in timing can mean the difference between a normal morning and a morning in the emergency room. And if you thought fainting was the worst, wait until next time. Your familiar bathroom in its dim morning light may be hiding a host of death traps your eyes are no longer able to detect. The bathroom is one of the most familiar spaces in every home. Therefore, it is often considered safe and harmless. But for the elderly, especially in the early morning, the bathroom is more than just a place for personal hygiene. It can be the place where a life-changing accident happens. And the scariest thing, all dangers often lurk in the dark. According to a report from the U.S. National Institute on Aging, NIA, the ability to perceive light, depth, and color contrast in people over 70 years old decreases by up to 60%, especially in low-light conditions. Things that your eyes once recognized clearly, like puddles of water, the edge of the bathtub, or dark corners of the floor, can now easily become traps that you don't even know about. And early in the morning, when the sun is not up yet and the lights in the house are still dim, those small details become real dangers. Gregory Harrison, 81, once believed he knew every inch of his bathroom. One winter morning, he woke up early as usual and stepped into the shower at 5 a.m. But in the dim light from an old light bulb, he couldn't see the small puddle of water under his feet. The slip broke his hip, an injury that would leave him unable to walk completely again. If I had waited until it was brighter, I would have seen it and avoided it. But I trusted my instincts, he later said. The solution doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. Install motion sensor lights in and around the bathroom, so they come on as soon as you step in. Use brightly colored, non-slip mats with bold borders that are easy to spot in all lighting conditions. Add grab bars to areas where you're likely to slip, such as near the shower and sink. Look at your bathroom not through the eyes of the familiar, but through the eyes of a 70-year-old with weaker eyesight, slower reflexes, and greater risk. Because sometimes the problem isn't that you weren't careful, it's that you didn't see it in time to avoid it. In the next section, you'll learn why a single glass of water, or lack thereof, can send an elderly person into a bathroom collapse, an invisible but all too common morning hazard. We often think of dehydration as something that happens only when it's hot, when we exercise a lot, or when we haven't had enough water for a long time. But the truth is, every morning when you wake up, your body is already in a state of mild dehydration that you don't even realize. And for people over 70, this seemingly harmless state can be the catalyst for a serious accident. Right in the bathroom. While you sleep, your body goes without water for hours, while it continues to lose it through breathing and excretion. The result, reduced blood volume, lower blood pressure, and this is exacerbated when you stand up suddenly or enter a hot environment like a bathroom. A condition called orthostatic hypotension, which occurs when blood pressure drops sharply due to a change in position, is the leading cause of dizziness, loss of balance, and falls in older adults, especially in the morning. The case of Leonard Sullivan, 77, is a clear example. For months, he had been feeling slightly dizzy every morning when he took a shower, but he thought it was normal due to old age. It was only when his doctor explained that morning dehydration, pause, bathwater temperature, change in position were 3 dangerous factors that he changed his habits. Starting with drinking a glass of warm water 15 minutes before taking a shower, he no longer felt dizzy at all. The advice is extremely simple. Every morning, before entering the bathroom, drink a full glass of water about 2. Place a water bottle in the bedroom or right on the sink as a reminder. This habit not only helps stabilize blood pressure, but also increases alertness and supports the functioning of the entire circulatory system. When you start a new day, a glass of water too simple to ignore, but important enough to change the outcome of a morning. And as you'll see in the next section, if you happen to fall in the shower early in the morning, your chances of being rescued are much lower than at other times of the day. This isn't a physiological issue, it's a survival issue during the quietest hours. Imagine this. You slip in the shower at 5 a.m. No one is around. Your loved ones are still asleep. Your phone is outside, the water is still running, and there you are, unable to get up. The question is, how long will it be before someone finds you? And when they do, will it be too late? The scary reality is that falling in the early morning is dangerous not only because of your physiology, but also because of social and environmental factors. This is the time when the whole family is still sleeping. Activities have not started. Neighbors are not at work. No one is checking messages or calling. That is why, according to data from emergency medical reports, the reaction time when the elderly fall between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. is often 40% slower than at other times. Beatrice Harper, 73, is a heartbreaking example. She woke up early to shower at 5 a.m., as usual, but that day she slipped and couldn't reach any of the communication devices. When the neighbors came to check on her around 9 a.m., she was severely hypothermic from lying on the wet floor for so long. The doctor said if she had been discovered just an hour earlier, the injury would have been much less severe. The solution? Install a waterproof emergency call button right in the shower area, where you can reach it if something happens. Schedule a check-in call every morning with a trusted relative or neighbor, especially if you live alone. Don't wait for luck. Be proactive in planning your safety. The silence of the early morning can be beautiful, but for seniors it can also be deadly. And now, the final factor that will make you look at yourself. When is your mind most alert to protect yourself, and when is it not? That's the last and most important part that you can't miss. You've just gone through the facts that most seniors and their families have never been warned about. And now you know, showering early, between 4 and 8 a.m., is one of the seemingly harmless habits that poses the highest risk to your health and life after age. Not only is your blood pressure not stable, your body temperature not ready, or your blood pressure medication working at its strongest, but also because you're alone, at a time when few people can help if something happens. But like any other risk, understanding and adjusting can help you maintain your safety, independence, and quality of life. Don't wait until an accident happens to make changes. Start small. Switch your shower time to mid-morning. Drink a glass of water before you step into the shower. Install a sensor light and an emergency call device. And talk to your loved ones and your doctor to adjust the timing of your medication to make it safer. Now ask yourself, would you rather stick with the same old habit for convenience, or would you rather make a small change to save the rest of your life? If this information makes you think, share it with your loved ones. Just one click, it could save a life tomorrow morning.